Is this thing on? Hey, so this is Po Boys After Dark. This is the second channel. If you've ever seen the main channel, Po Boys, I build race cars basically. This is the channel where I'm not building race cars. I do pretty much anything else that I would like to upload, as well as review things that are pretty cool. This is the Freedare Saiga. They sent it out and I'm gonna put it to its tests and I'm gonna let you know if this thing's worth it or if it's not. Let's get into the video. So first impressions of this thing, it's a basic bike from what I can tell as far as e-bike stuff goes. It's got normal accessories on it, but one thing about this bike that's different about others is this one has GPS. I haven't even turned this one on yet, so we're gonna do that here together here in a little bit. I will say the paint color is pretty cool. It's a nice matte, and the frame is an aluminum frame. It's got some nice tires on there. Nothing too aggressive, but at the same time, nice for on-road. This is a hub drive motor, so that means the hub is inside, 750 watts. It's got a headlight up front, hydraulic disc brakes, a USB port to charge your phone. Nice ergonomic hand controls right here. So obviously this is like the DCP-18 controls. I like them really solid. You just turn it on with the power button and then you change your power modes like so, and then your headlight is the press of this button. Got to mount your bell right here. Throttle's on this side, and then you shift obviously right here. I will say the brakes aren't big on this bike, so I'll update you on how those feel here in a little bit. This is a hardtail bike, so that is one thing to notice. This will only have front suspension. And here is it from the other side. All right, so I just got the battery in this thing. Now I'll turn it on for the first time. Press and hold the power button, and here it is. First start, she's on. All right, well, in theory, she should go. Let's go ahead and drive this thing, and I'll show you what this thing's capable of. All right, guys, so we are out in the field, and this is the Freedare Saiga e-bike that I'm gonna be riding today. It's a 750 watt hub drive motor e-bike, aluminum frame, hydraulic brakes, and it's just like most of the other e-bikes, but we're gonna see if this one's capable as the other e-bikes, because some can and some can't wheelie. So first things first, whenever trying to do a wheelie, there's this sensor that's connected to the brake. You have to take out a grub screw, and then you have to undo the sensor. What that does is takes your rear brake sensor and disconnects it. So I can use my rear brake as I'm trying to do a wheelie. So the motor can activate as I activate the rear brake. The rear brake holds me from looping over, if that makes any sense. I just kind of pull it back to balance point and then use the brake to keep me from looping back, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna lift up the seat, turn on the GoPro, and let's go. For first things first, we'll hop on it. We're gonna put it on the biggest, most powerful mode that it's got, because obviously that is what we should do from step one. This bike's got some pretty cool features. First things first, we're gonna take this e-bike and we have to see if it wheelies. So I have the reverse sensor disconnected. I haven't tested these brakes, but we're gonna try it. Okay, she gets up. Oh gosh, this bike's tall. Okay, maybe it's just these tree branches are low. The bike's tall, but the tree branches are also low. Another thing is that all these bikes that I ride are 26 by 4.0 tires, except for the Narika Revenant, but all of these bikes are considered fat bikes. I love bicycles, I love e-bicycles, but nothing is better than a fat bike. A bike that doesn't look like it should be this big, moving as fast as it does is awesome. We have a downhill, so we're gonna go ahead and see how fast it goes while we're at it. Full throttle downhill. I'm gonna show you guys what this thing's capable of. It looks like right at 28, we have a governor, but it looks like gravity's bringing us a little bit further. 33 miles an hour is gonna be top speed for this thing. Wow, look at that beautiful lake. Dang, it's definitely a fun little ride. Ah, thank the Lord for e-bikes. I'm glad we were able to do that. If we were in a car, we wouldn't have been able to do it without taking out a bush. Oh yeah? Is that a trail? That's a trail, okay. Sweet, we get started on our path. So basically this bike seems pretty normal as the rest of them, and it also seems fun. But what I'm looking at straight ahead is a reason to turn around, I'll tell you that. Oh, there's so many of them. You can't see what I can see, but I can see a lot of spider webs. So I'm gonna turn around. Don't wanna be any part of those spider webs. It sounded fun. All right, now we're gonna take this thing and ride it up this tall hill. Honestly, it doesn't do bad. I wonder if I could wheelie up it. Yeah, with the help of the motor, of course, I can, but it's starting to lag out now that we're getting towards the top. All right, that's good enough. So yeah, like I said, this thing's a pretty smooth little bike. What's this? Oh man. Why do they gotta tempt me with stuff like that? I wonder what that is. Whoa. Whoa. I'm kind of surprised a snake doesn't live in that. And it's so clear. Oh, there's a frog. I guarantee if there's a snake, it's under that. But back to the bike, I wanted to basically give you a recap of this thing. I got the chance to ride it around enough, and I know these e-bikes enough to where I can give it a good score. Will it do a wheelie? Yes. Will I get you a good one before the video's over? Yes. Do I think it's pretty cool? Yes. I think the bike is honestly pretty decent. Bro, who be living under that? Bro, there's a homie that lives in there, and I don't know if I want to meet him, to be honest. Let me get this cinematic. All right guys, so this is pretty much the Saiga in its full glory. It is a regular e-bike. This one, however, has something that the other ones do not. This one has an app that has GPS tracking included, and it can do that. No problem. All right, I told you guys I was gonna give you a wheelie before this video was over. Okay, it does it. I'm a little scared. Okay, she does a wheelie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Freedare Saiga does a wheelie. If you want to learn how to do it, this is definitely a bike you can use to learn how to wheelie. Because a lot of them, you just cannot, simply because the bike's geometry won't let you. This one, I just did, 100% guarantee, it'll let you do a wheelie. Voila. Yeah, this is pretty sweet right here. And then we'll do a brake test from 30 miles an hour. Not bad. Not bad at all. Dang. Well, the Freedare Saiga is a solid one, ladies and gentlemen. It's not anything crazy. It's not anything crazy, but at the same time, it's a bike with an app and GPS. You can turn the bike off, as well as whenever the bike's parked, you can turn it on in your settings to give you a notification or a text even, letting you know that the bike has been stolen based off of a certain amount of time. Say you have to go into a store, you can lock the bike, and if it gets moved inside of the store, then you would know. So this is a really good bike for commuters, and it has a lot of good uses for it. It's not just that every bike needs to be an awesome off-roader, but this one is also really capable of it. It's been raining for the past week and a half here, so it's been hard to find a trail. How's it going? Ooh, that's wet. I didn't want to get wet today, but we're wet now. Shouldn't keep a straight face. I'll tell you one thing, she does wheelie. One thing good about these hardtails, actually I'll put it this way. If you want to learn how to do a wheelie, I would prefer you get a hardtail, because a hardtail is easier to learn because you don't have to adjust for the different geometry change in the rear suspension. For those bikes, the geometry changes based off of how you lean, so that really will affect a wheelie and how you're learning how to do a wheelie. You can kind of grow into it as you learn to gain more control with it, but whenever you're first starting out, I highly recommend a hardtail to learn. This feels good going back to a nice hardtail bike, one that you know for sure isn't gonna be any problem. Should probably get on the right side of the road. But go uphill. Learning how to wheelie, do it in a slight uphill grade, makes it so much easier because you're working with gravity instead of against gravity. Whenever you're going downhill, it's hard because you have to gain speed. These little e-bikes don't have enough speed in them to give you that speed, essentially. Once you learn how to do an e-bike and learn how to do balance point, it's really, you're golden from that point. Nothing else can teach you that balance point other than being on one wheel with two-wheel vehicle, and nothing's better than a little e-bike like this because they're so cheap. You can get these things for less than $1,500. This one might even be cheaper than that. Go check the website. You can get a discount in the description below if you use it. But these things really are cheat codes because they can get people to learn how to do wheelies on top of be great transportation. And a lot of people are just changing these things out specifically, for cars. Like they're just using these things to get around and they're just not even using their car.
look at me, for however many years it was, I was a car YouTuber. That was my main job, my full-time job. That's all I did. And I had a freaking bicycle. That was what was getting me around to the shop, was a bicycle and the e-bikes. Like, I didn't have a running car. That's crazy to have a car YouTube channel without a running car for 3 years. I was rocking that for a little bit. And it was because of these guys right here, these little e-bikes. So if you haven't got convinced yet that these e-bikes are jam up, then let me tell you now, this is it. This is the future. Brake test, brakes work good. Well, I guess that's going to go ahead and conclude my review of the Freedare Saiga e-bike. Hopefully you guys like this thing. There's a bunch of different people who have made videos of the technical specs on this thing. Go watch their videos, go help their channels out. But for my video, I'm gonna show you some pretty crazy riding because this is Po Boys AD. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you wanna grab a Freedare Saiga yourself, I approve of this thing because yes, it does wheelies, it makes power, and also the anti-theft thing is a game changer for me. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great one. Remember to freaking send it. Oh, glass clippings, no hands. We're doing this crazy.